Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen podcast. It's the new year. It's 2025. I'm joined by Zinnia. Say hello, lovely New Year, Zinnia.
Hello, lovely New Year, Zinnia.
Perfect.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's going to be a good one. 2025, it's new. And with that comes a load of new stuff for Star Citizen. It's the year of playability.
Hopefully.
Well, what does playability mean to you, Zin? This isn't on the notes. This is just a random question I'm going to ask. I'm not even going to ask how your new year was. What's playability mean to you in Star Citizen for 2025?
Stability and lack of bugs or minimal bugs that don't cause game-breaking issues.
Okay, yeah.
And just the ability to complete missions from beginning to end without having my hangar disappear.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so for people that are unaware, I suppose most people will be aware, so Alpha 4.0 is effectively a live build. It's on the preview build. They're going to maintain that build and then phase out 3.24.3, which is the other live build with this one, and everything will carry over, or at least it's planned to, from the preview build to 4.0 fully live. There are a load of bugs with 4.0.
What a surprise.
Well, CIG have been hotfixing them even throughout Christmas and New Year. So what do you think of that? Do you think that's really cool that there was staff that were working there literally fixing bugs and stuff on Christmas Day?
I mean, yeah, these are people who are obviously, I hope, made the choice to do this.
Well, I mean, they're not chained to their desks. There's always a choice, right? But yeah, weren't overly coerced into it.
But I mean, I've worked in the hospitality industry and those sorts of things. You're expected to work like Christmas Day or New Year's Day or Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. You know, that's just part of the job. So
Zin's got a very unique employment with BoredGamer, talking about myself in the third person almost there, where I basically go at the end of the year now, when are you off and when can I expect you back?
Yeah.
It's sort of, I think it's super important to have your staff be able to take off the time that they want as long as they get their work done. And hopefully the people that were working throughout Christmas were appropriately compensated. I believe they were. We seem relatively happy about it. Like, there's a lot of passionate people at CIG.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll come to maybe some people being laid off and that sort of stuff towards the end of this podcast. It's in my notes. I want to talk about some of this stuff. Just read an article which made it go, which is good. But as I said, we'll come to that. So yeah, 4.0, load of bugs with 4.0. They've been hot fixing it. They have been improving it. It should be a lot better for a lot more people now. But there are still big problems with it. There are black screens where you can't leave the hangar. That sort of stealth 30Ks and disconnects. You have to, like, pop-up boxes can appear that you can't see, that you've got to click on while the screen's black, and that you can't complete missions. You can't leave your hangar for some people. People are like totally stuck on bricked accounts of what people are saying. So do you think that this is appropriate? I mean, obviously not appropriate, but do you think this is okay from Star Citizen? Like, it was a known thing that will happen. Do you think, yeah, this is obviously going to happen? It's alpha or early access. What do you think of the 4.0 preview and the problems it's having?
I think it's a mix of them wanting to get it out because they made this promise, and also they knew it was going to be buggy.
Yeah.
So they've essentially compromised.
Yeah, they've made a compromise, and they want more data on server meshing and 4.0 stuff for sure. That's how they're going to push the game forward and have it more playable in 2025. What's a good way of making your game more playable in 2025 than breaking it before you release it? Bam. Start of the year. But no, more seriously, like, this is going to, or at least this should help a load with stability and that sort of stuff. Like server meshing and all the improvements they've put into 4.0, you will notice when your servers are working properly that everything's a lot more snappy and stable. People will be like, what about the black screens for the 30Ks? Like, that's not happened to me. I know it's happened to loads of people though. I go on typically at times of day when servers are less busy anyway. So it might be that reason that I'm having less of a problem. But I do think we're going to have a load of hotfixes throughout January. January is typically a relatively quiet month for development info.
Yeah.
Do you think that's, you say yeah like that as well, like, do you think that's appropriate, or do you because of the way that Star Citizen is, would you expect actually CIG maybe should be putting out more This Week's in Star Citizens, Inside Star Citizen, stuff like that? Or do you think it's fine for them to have a bit of a break?
I think it's fine for them to have a bit of a break. As far as I remember, January is usually them more so working out what they're going to be doing for the rest of the year.
The planning and scheduling month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And hopefully at the end of January, but typically by mid-February, we have a big roadmap update. And CIG sort of going, this is the direction we're going, this is going to be the next big sort of patch, the plans, and this is what we've sort of got planned for the rest of the year. And we can expect them to try and get a load of the stuff from 2024's CitizenCon in and work towards playability for this year, whatever that means, and work towards 1.0. Do you think is that your expectations as well?
Yeah, pretty much.
We do have some other things that will be happening in January. So last year they had an In Case You Missed It sale. So what better way to start the year than with some more funding? And basically they go, look, these are all the ships we released in the last year, either to flyable, concept, whatever. We'll give you another chance to buy them at those prices. In Case You Missed It sale. And there was quite a lot of ships last year. We had Mirai Guardian, Terrapin Medic, the Hornet Mark IIs, the Polaris. Polaris, obviously, first true combat capital ship that we have fully in players' hands. I think that's correct. So some people might argue like the Hammerhead or something is kind of Corvette-sized, but it's not as big as the Polaris. Got the Argo CSV, the flathead truck, the Star Lancers, the Argo ATLS or Atlas Titan suits, the Peregrine and Firebird Saber Raven variants, the Zeus Mark IIs, the Argo MPUV T1, the little tractor version, the Ursa Medivac, the Pulses, and then for concepts we had the Paladin and Ironclads. So what was your favourite ships out of those, Zin? Do you have a favourite? You have to have a favourite. Got to pick one.
I mean, I'll pick one. I wouldn't really say it was my favourite, though. Probably either the Atlas, because it was just unique, and also the first exosuit that they've done.
Yes, yeah.
Also the Ursa Medivac. Not the Ursa Medivac. The Terrapin
Medic. But I'm sure you've got a lot of love for the Ursa Medivac. Anything with med in it. Yeah, cool. Yeah, there's a load of love there for me as well for the Terrapin Medic, the Polaris, and the ATLS. I think they are all very cool. Really want to see the Ironclads in game as well. But I want to see a combat Titan suit. That's what I want. Combat. I've just written that into the notes for some reason. Don't know why. It's there now. But yeah, so probably next week or something like that, I would expect a In Case You Missed It sale to sort of start off the year. And then it's not 100% sure. They might not do it again, but I mean, marketing typically will want to do something like that. Then we have towards the end of the month, the Red Festival, which normally mirrors Chinese New Year. So what's after the Year of the Dog?
I don't know.
So it looks like it's the Year of the Pig in Star Citizen. Yeah.
For us, it's Year of the Snake. I think we had this discussion, didn't we?
Yeah. But so Star Citizen evolved that to their current year. So last year was Year of the Dog for Star Citizen. This year is probably Year of the Pig. Looking forward to that. There's some interesting stuff with the Red Festival. They sort of have the red envelopes that you can find. They have these gold and red ships, sort of opulent ships. There might be some cool little Arena Commander things going on there. There's typically some free flair, stuff like that. Do you like these little mini, because they're quite minor events, but do you like them for community building and like interest, or do you think, it doesn't really matter about them?
Yeah, I'm not too fussed about the little ones.
Okay, what are the big ones to you?
They're more interesting. The things that I'd actually look into.
So, like big events, are you talking more about Fleet Week, CitizenCon, Intergalactic Aerospace Expo? Is it like big?
Yeah.
Okay.
Things where you're more likely to get new ships or new information or stuff like that.
Okay, no, that's fair. I do think they've missed a trick with marketing with these minor events. I do think that needs to be maybe an exclusive in-game item that you can get with doing something in-game. And they did basically say as well this year that they are planning to have a load more like narrative events and events that get you into whatever new gameplay they've got going into a patch. So that might be quite interesting. We still haven't completed Safe Stanton, so we probably need to do that before 3.24.3 goes out of action. I wanted to talk about this. I saw on Reddit a few days ago that there were some players blocking the elevator doors into contested zones.
Okay.
By sort of standing there and then doing an emote, and like a whole line of them.
I'm assuming you can't kill them in those areas.
Yes, they're safe in those areas.
Right.
And apparently you couldn't get past them, according to the poster on Reddit anyway. At least in that area. Now, do you think that's something that's okay? That should be allowed, as long as it doesn't fully block you in or out?
No, I don't think it should be allowed at all.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not quite sure what you can do about it.
As long as you can shove.
Yeah.
Or there is a way around, I'm probably okay with it. But you need to be able to shove. You need to be able to do something to get past.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like when they make these zones less safe zones, again, you can, especially in Pyro, you could go, well, I'm just going to pull my weapon. It's like, get out my way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just thought it was sort of interesting. Interested to know other people's thoughts there. I mean, obviously, if they're using it to block you in or block you out fully, that's basically griefing.
Mm-hmm.
If you come up that elevator and they're there and you can't get out, I'd say that is not appropriate. If there's no way you can get through, like at all, like you can't push them out of the way, you can't go, no, well, I'm gonna deck you. Yeah, I don't think that should be allowed. But it's important that this stuff happens so that CIG can go, these are ways you can exploit things. These are ways you can do this stuff. Do we want that gameplay? In what way do we want that gameplay? How do we prevent that gameplay? Talk very briefly about Star Citizen funding. We're doing a proper video on this when CIG released their financials, but they raised 116 million last year, just shy of the previous year's 117 million.
Mm-hmm.
So relatively impressive. And I quickly looked around for if they're going to be articles saying Star Citizen's funding's drying up or something because of that. Something ridiculous. And I did find a couple of articles. So I found an article that said Star Citizen made more in 2024 than The Witcher 3's entire budget.
Mm-hmm.
So Star Citizen has been building a studio, developing 2 games, stuff like that. So technically Star Citizen hasn't necessarily made all of that. Oh, actually, no, it probably would have, because Squadron 42 is not available to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's slightly more accurate. But actually, that article that I looked at with that title was pretty positive to Star Citizen. It hasn't got much opinion in. It's very factual. It's sort of, well, at least that they appear to be trying to follow facts and do research into it and go, there's a big player base for it. People are enjoying the game. They've released this. I was like, oh, okay, this is quite a fair article. I then looked for any other articles. Now, there's an article that's been going around and been written about loads and propagated, copy-pasted, going, Star Citizen Studio sacks several higher-ups to wrap up a year of quiet layoffs, was one of the titles I saw, the most recent one. I really dislike some of these things. Like, yes, there has been a level of restructuring at CIG over the decade or so that they've been operating, and they're always going to have layoffs, whether they get rid of staff, hire new staff. They're trying to hire loads more staff. They're trying to move their operations as much as possible and as sensibly as possible to the UK as well, because they're a big studio. Do you think that's fair to say, Zin?
Yes.
And they are going to, Todd Pappy left and stuff like that. Some big talent has left CIG over the last couple of years, for sure. And some of our mates and stuff have left CIG because of various reasons. CIG are always going to look to be efficient as a company. We're sensible. Mm-hmm. And people might disagree with that. They're terribly inefficient. Well, one of the ways they get more efficient is by looking at staff they need. I know that they got rid of some of their QA staff, or at least moved them, stuff like that. However, there appears to be a lot of articles just based on one guy's writings of very vague information. And this is not to say that this guy is not accurate or might not, maybe he is getting this information, but there's Insider Gaming articles I've seen about Star Citizen and about some other games, which are just incredibly vague, which then get written about by a load of other outlets. And from what I can tell, I can't tell if there's any vetting to the sort of insider information that the guy gets. And a lot of it's just like rumours from the office, say, or I was told by one person who wishes to remain anonymous. It was like, well, it's so vague. And then there's like a few rumours that are then elaborated on, I think they mean this. And then another 5 outlets will write an article as if it's fact based on that. I hate that. It's just copy-pasted, almost like AI hallucinating copy-pasting, because it just gets so vague and so, I don't know. It just annoys me. I hate journalism like that. Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a journalist. I cover Star Citizen. Well, because other people are like, well, why don't you do better? Well, I'm not a journalist. I cover Star Citizen. I copy-paste what CIG say for the most part. So you can feel the hypocrisy in my statements. But I don't know. It just that sort of stuff annoys me. And I'm not even blaming Insider Gaming for it. I'm blaming the people that copy-paste their article. They should do some more research and not just copy-paste that stuff. Do you think I'm fair with this, or do you think maybe I'm blowing stuff out of proportion? What are your thoughts?
No, I think you're fair. I think, like I said, I read that article and I was just like, this is just such a non-article. Like, I'm not quite sure why you're reporting this, or even reporting it in a way, and there's no information. You just, like you say, it's just regurgitating what somebody else has already said.
Yeah, and it's regurgitating something that someone else has said as like almost an off comment. Like you're talking to someone in the pub, I heard this. And that's basically what you've reported on. And as I said, it's not to say that some of this stuff is not accurate or true. It's just so vague. And I don't like it as journalism saying, oh, look at my insider information. I heard it from a guy down the pub. It just annoys me. It's just a lot of this stuff. People seem to click on or farm for clicks Star Citizen headlines that are Star Citizen's a game that still isn't released. Or Star Citizen, you know what they did? They operated as a game studio. Like, okay, cool. It's 10 years and still no game. What does that even mean? That's not even accurate.
So this is something I was thinking about, I think literally just before I went on holiday for Christmas and New Year's. And like a lot of people saying it's not a game, it's not been released yet. That's like almost like a tagline, yeah. Like so many years in development, still not got a release date. Yeah. But they failed to realise that the game is playable. Like maybe not that playable because of bugs, but you can click on an executable and load up a game. Yeah. And I was thinking about this. One of the disadvantages we have with having open development and following the development and being told about things before they get released and stuff like that is that we don't get the some people still do, but not I can't believe it would be to the same extent, but we don't get the awe of experiencing Star Citizen as a brand new thing. Like, imagine if you found someone who plays games who's never heard of Star Citizen, has no idea what the game's capable of, and then you go on, you go get yourself a ship, and then fly into space, and then go to another planet, and then go to another solar system.
It's the same as like trying VR for the first time. You're like, oh wow,
yeah,
this is kind of cool. Why has no one told me about this?
And it's one of the things that we've and I've probably said this before, though not recently. We kind of take it for granted.
Yeah, no, I think you're right there. But also, it's given us a weird rose-tinted view of Star Citizen. We don't understand what the outside that have only ever followed articles and headlines think of Star Citizen in the same way. We sort of, a lot of people think, oh, that's that joke game or that scam game. Yeah. Maybe not a lot of people, but a reasonable amount of people. And these are a lot of people that have never played Star Citizen, have no interest in Star Citizen, and don't realise it's been playable for many, many, many years, and that they keep on updating and improving it. But so we have a different view because we can't see Star Citizen externally. We are very much internally part of playing it, captured by it. Yeah, that's really interesting, Sin. I totally agree with you.
I know it's got bugs. I know it's not perfect, but you also you have to look at what they've achieved. And I've said this before, since I started working for you to now, they've done a hell of a lot, but you get used to it. It becomes like part of the furniture and you just forget that it's happened.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? Like, we've come a long way in a decade, and we've come a long way since you started working, doing editing and helping create videos. Like, it's moved a lot faster since you've been working for me. Like, you might be like, oh, it's been dragging on a bit if you had been working like a decade on it. But they are genuinely making progress. They are genuinely moving a lot faster with this stuff now. Squadron 42 is not just it's 2 years away. It's only 1 year away. Get wrecked. Hopefully. And they've got a pathway to 1.0, a genuine sort of plan for that. And we'll learn more either by the end of the month or by February. But yeah, I'm super excited for the year. And as I said, I don't want to the insider gaming stuff. Like, they might be absolutely fantastic as a source of information. Maybe they are getting all these leaks and stuff. I just went, these leaks are pretty vague, and it seems to only be him getting them and everyone else writing about them. It just seems a bit odd. And I've got loads of friends at CIG. I ask them questions constantly. It's not the sort of information I get. But yeah, 2025. Happy New Year.
Woo!
Woo! Have we got anything else to say, Zin?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I think we're done. Help the channel by clicking the links below. We haven't got an outro yet, Zin, for NordVPN for this month. So you should. Oh, what's that? It's 2025. I don't want someone stealing my keyboard, and neither do you. Also, you can click the links below to get NordVPN. Everyone can agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we decided on a ship giveaway?
Yes, we're giving away a Mirai Guardian.
Ooh.
Yes. Ooh, that's exciting. A single-seater, powerful, heavy fighter. I do think the QI variant's better, but maybe you can upgrade it.
We're not
We're not giving away that one. Also, CIG have given this one. They've gone, you want a ship for a giveaway? You can give that one away. I've gone, cool, I'll have that. Well, I'll give it away. Thanks for watching. Happy 2025. Happy New Year. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
See you later, guys. Thanks. Click the links, join the buttons, comment and subscribes, and all the other things.